Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today, I'm going to play a deck I enjoy. It is an alchemy deck, so for those of you who are anti-alchemy, you can turn the video off now. I don't really care, but I do enjoy this deck, and Magic is a game of fun, so if it is a deck you enjoy, in a format you enjoy, play it. I don't care if you have certain qualms with that, but I find this deck fun. It's a Monastery Swiftspear mono red deck. This is what I finished out last season with. I had about a 70% win rate. Actually closer to 75, went 34-11 I think, to close out the season in top 800 mythic. And it's just kind of an adaptation of the deck that I previously got #1 mythic with. Notably, we cut the curve down a bit. We're not playing Thundering Raiju anymore. We're still doing the top end of Ambergris and Traumatic Prank, but we're really just loading up on 1-drops. So we have Swiftspear as well as Phoenix Chick as the 2 additional 1-drops. Swiftspear gets bigger with this deck through stuff like Kumano, the number of burn spells kind of playing in there. I still prefer Molten Impact over Mephit. There's a lot of mono red mirrors, and Molten Impact just oftentimes being 2 removal spells, kind of combat tricky style things, kind of leads to a benefit. Notably, we got an improvement to the deck in Mishra's Foundry, just a creature land which we previously had with them with the Bugbear. But yeah, it's largely it. Honestly though, like I've been finding Tiefling's kind of been underperforming relative to the rest of the deck. It still has snowball occasions, but it's not as good that people are prepared for it. The haste elements, like oftentimes Phoenix Chick just being an evasive threat, is a lot better in that. So ladder reset, we're going to give some games. I'll demo the deck. There is still some folks who do enjoy it. I was also trying out just another kind of idea. I haven't really refined this enough, but if you're interested, here's the list. It's basically playing around the fact that these are larger threats. They can cast early, Divine Purge, and you can get them back and then cast them for again and again, or they get around Divine Purge. There's a lot of aggro decks, so kind of a black-white mid-range life gain kind of shell. I'm 2-1 with that one there, but I just haven't got the reps in to get the exact numbers right. I've been messing around with the line count. But we'll give some mono red a try. If you've been around the channel long enough, you know I love me a mono red deck, so I will play any format. Mono red is good. So largely the meta in alchemy, if you haven't tuned in for a while, it's a mono red. In best of 1, it is Rakdos Anvil, Rakdos midrange, mono black, various life gain kind of piles. Crystal Grotto. So some of the mono red decks are still on Crystal Grotto, which in my opinion is wrong. You're better off playing Mishra's Foundry. You get a lot more utility here. So I'm going to lead with Foundry here. I still think we probably play this. Now the downside here is if they do have a shock. Okay, they had Lightning Strike anyways, so it didn't matter. But sometimes you want to attack because you can use the prowess as kind of a combat trick. I went with this route here because if they don't commit to the board, okay, so they do commit. And that's usually a threat I would want to Traumatic Prank to refill our hand, but I think at this juncture of the game, I do want these top-end threats. And I don't want to give them access to this recurable card draw engine. So they've used their Kumano. Shivan Devastator I'm not too worried about. I think here... So we have the option to go face. I also have the option to go Traumatic Prank, but if they go like Raiju, I'm actually gonna trim 1 point of damage to decide, because this version might be on Raiju, they might have another Ambergris, and I want to be able to determine what I want to kill here. Okay, so I think here we just let it go. If they play another 2-drop, I notably have 2 Molten Impact in the bin. So I just want to be a little mindful of that. I think we just get Mishra this turn. So they have some sort of response. to get me there. We might have to do this lightning strike face here, or on the Shivan Devastator. That's actually okay.
Listen, pal, I'm with the Gatewatch, so
Let's see what
might
they
as
do
well
here.
give a toast. I'd love to.
So we're gonna 2 here, take this out.
Better not ruin my dress.
Now I have this Raiju, this Kumano. This is actually a good draw because it gives me a blocker. Chandra was something I tested, but it was a little too slow. There's so many creatures in this format, it's hard to kind of keep up. I mean, we're gonna lose to Kumano, so I think we just gotta go for it. This just puts pressure. Okay, so we're dead to like any burn spell off the top. Okay, that's not a burn spell. I can do this. And a lot of this matchup is just trying to get there. Like, they have a draw now, they need a haste enabler. Or a burn spell, and they didn't have it. So that's what you gotta do with this matchup. Like, we are dead to a number of cards, but the opponent used 3 or 4 lightning strikes. There's the consideration for like Shivan Devastator. It's a better kind of long game threat because we're only playing 22 lands. The evasive element is nice, but you're usually playing it behind curve anyways. They got the little boost because they played it on curve with Kumano, but generally speaking I like the swiftspears. Alright, well we're going to see how much we like these swiftspears. Could be blue-white control, maybe Dimir. Or just mono blue. You know what mono blue has a hard time dealing with? 1-drop tribal. So we can keep just kind of chunking in damage here. So I'm just going to throw this at their face. They could counter here, but I get to do some extra points of damage. And if they're taking time to like negate, it's fine. Okay, they're Fading Hope here. It's fine, I can reset that next turn, but still get 3 points of damage in. Haughty. I'm gonna bait here. No pause. So they did have the negate. We'll just pass the turn here. I think we Molten here. Because if they have Slip Out, it's worse. Because then it goes to 5. So like Traumatic Prank could be our catch up there. So I'm going to play out the land here, play around, make disappear. That's GG. 1-drop Tribal. We kind of flooded out that game too. 5 lands is like an unusual amount for the deck, but these games go quick. You kind of smack your opponent around, get those wins. Oops, sorry. Just checking my untap score. So I'll queue up another game. So I'm currently 41 and 15 with the deck. You can see my breakdown. So like the closest is mono red. Green white life gain's kind of a pain. Like any of those kind of Naya green white life gains. We're gonna try this one. It's a little weak of a hand, but on the play, I usually don't like to mulligan with this hand. We're only at 22 lands, so hopefully don't draw too many more. Okay, they're on a Delver deck. I don't think I care about Delver right now. So they got Flame Blast, so they will have to tap down. Potentially Traumatic Prank there. Start racing them that way. It seems like they might have missed the line drop. That's actually really good. Because this land is going to ping him a lot. Aberration didn't flip. And like they can hit a Phoenix Chick here, but I have the Play with Fire that I can take out one of their Delvers. Yeah, if they're going to do that, we just put this damage to the face. Probably the face. Taking 5 this turn. I got 5 here. They go 6. Oh, we're probably gonna take out swiftspear. That's actually a really good draw. So it's 4. Dead. Delver flips, Delver pings. I think they might have... No, the trigger goes on the stack, so they can't respond to the trigger. I was thinking that could have been a way around for them. Just kind of get them that way. But the trigger goes on the stack, so even if you kill, they would need a way to gain life link in a sense, but... Opponent kept a one-liner. Our hand ended up paying off. I think opponent probably should have just held up the... Like, they weren't winning that race. So holding up the burn spell is actually advantageous, I think. It just saves them some points of damage. Part of it in these aggro mirrors is just threat assessment, knowing when you need to kind of push versus your opponent. Like it's similar with this mono red list. Sometimes you're taking a back seat, being a little bit more control oriented. Let's see if opponent's on mono block or the sack decks. I gotta change my avatar. It gives away too much info. This deck is fairly weak to Meathook Massacre. Divine Purge is kind of annoying because your stuff comes in play tapped, but... One card I was actually considering is the Mutt from the latest set. So I want to see what they do here. They go to Ganjo. I'm just going to go 3 to the face. I'll see what they do here. So if it's just soaring down tick, then I want an impact.
You can deal with my
Lethal. I'm just going to let him know that not only were they dead, but they were super dead. Every game's like turn 4, turn 5 kill. Like I said, this deck goes very, very fast. If you just want to jam in games, to close this season, I did like, I'm actually curious, 1 sec, because I did like 50 games in like 2.5 hours. I did 45 games in 2.5 hours, and I had a 76% win rate. Okay, I'm gonna try this hand, but like, this is the 0 interaction hand. And we're playing life game. Yeah, this is a terrible matchup to begin with. I mean, if I can get Lightning Strike this next turn, we might be able to get there. Or like a Molten Impact, just any 2 mana burn. Because then I play swiftspear, play Mishra, kill their thing. But if they go like Trilasara or the 2/2, they're okay. Just another Luminarch's fine. Okay, well, they're on triple Luminarch. Just invalidated everything I did thus far. We need a burn spell. This hand was a little loose of a keep. Yeah, we're getting punished here. If they just drop like Bishop of Wings or something, I'm just going to concede. Go to the next one. Okay, we'll give it one more turn. Because I could technically draw... the problem is they're going to scry into something. Because even if I draw Traumatic Prank at this point, it doesn't do much. And they got up to 5, so it gets around my Molten Impacts. This hand would have been decent against something like Esper. Yeah, we're dead. Not enough pressure. This game doesn't really do much. Like, if we had a different 1-drop, it didn't really matter because we were only doing 3 damage a turn, and anything they cast gained them 3 life. Tale as old as time. Life gain versus aggro, like mono red. Even that game, it's probably pretty tough because they have 3 of the life gain enablers. Because you usually want to take out the life gain enabler versus the payoffs. Because there's a limited amount. There's only like... they basically play the 8. So here you usually want to lead on Tiefling. Because it could get you 2 attacks. So if they don't have a blocker here... Okay, so they're going to shock here. Okay, they just go Kumano. So that's actually really good. Always hold your Sokuzans. And then you generally, in this deck against mono red, lead on your Molten Impact because it's usually always a 2-for-1. I made a mistake, so this can only target your opponent's stuff. I needed to target my own thing. We're gonna get rid of you. Chunk in for a bunch. Play draw is a big differentiating factor in this mono red deck. That's why I like the Molten Impacts, because it helps you catch up when you're on the draw. Because here now I can kill whatever their next creature is, plus this etching, and I get the 2-for-1. You see, like Method, yeah, your next creature is bigger, but it's not really a benefit. So I have a couple options. I could just chunk face, which might be right, and then just follow it up with ambergris. That gets them down to 4. Because ambergris, like, I don't want to discard and they just trade it with the Kumano. Mishra's lands coming into clutch. Yeah, squeeze not gonna do much here. And like, yeah, look, you have a 5 power, but say this was 3 extra damage, they had another burn spell, it takes out 2 of my threats. And that game there, like we saw, I take out their threat, I push through damage to the face, and kind of get going that way. It's ultimately how much do you want to race your opponent. So, tough loss to mono white, or like to life gain, but I usually expect to lose that one. There's ways to play against it, but... So I usually like leading with Kumano here. This could be sack of some sort. Just mono black mid-range. Ninja? So I think this is probably Molten Impact worthy, because they're going to keep getting copies of Virus Beetle. They cast the Virus Beetle this turn, I just bin the Phoenix Chick, I think. Because this gets rid of... Maybe we keep Phoenix Chick. It's an interesting call. So I'm going to let Virus Beetle attack here. If they ninja it, then I go face. Because now they probably go Virus Beetle again. I'll discard Traumatic Prank, keep the land for Ambergris, and then just refill my hand. Perfect. We'll draw 2 cards. Decent for following turn. We're a little soft to Sheoldred right now, but... Meat Hook for 2 is kind of annoying. We are hoping to use that as our catch-up. I usually just play out my lands. I'm not going to beat another Meat Hook, so I'm just going to push in here. This Cursebound Witch can trade here, but I get another copy. Wretch for 5, also kind of annoying. I'm still going to trade here. They're going to get something from Witch, but I need to try to get it so I can start getting these Phoenix Chicks back from the yard. Gaining 5 is a bit annoying. Oh, that's good. 2/3 is massive against my board right now. And this lets me get my 3rd copy, like 3rd creature, so next turn I can bring back 2 chicks. So we have lethal technically on board if they don't interact. Okay, so we invoke here. The haste creature also does it for me. It's like really annoying. I'm gonna hold this land for now. I want to try to get back the chicks. Okay, so that's good. So now I'm gonna play the land. So they can get the skeleton back. They can get something from Cursebound. I have a point of burn that's checked away. If I draw another big spender, I can draft from it. There's like I usually get this like stupid stuff bear, just because it's a creature that gets around sweepers. That's fine. It's a little annoying. Oh, that's actually so good. They're gonna block, but I get to draw 2 cards, and it kind of gets me going there. So we showed the resilience there. We got through an Invoke Despair, we got through a Meathook Massacre, a number of small creatures kind of jumping in the way. 6 and 1 in this stretch. Maybe do one more, just to demo the deck. When I got to number 1 Mythic, we had about an 82% win rate. I think I went like 48 and 10. Probably won't get number 1 because I'm starting a little late. Or even if I come into Mythic, I was in Mythic like within the first 6-7 hours that time. But if you're looking to smash face, turn things sideways, so this hand's actually pretty solid. Opponent goes first, so we got some options. It'll depend on how they lead. Okay, so that means aggro. If they showed mono red, then we probably play the control game a little. I still have the option of doing that, so Rahil does something worth killing. So I'm actually gonna try something here. Okay, so they don't do it. Opponent's smart. It's probably werewolves. Gonna hold this because next turn I can do both. I have lightning strike and this. We have some options. Yeah. So next turn. The werewolf matchup can be difficult. Our hand worked out nice to start at least because we had these cheaper interaction spells. They get a little chunkier. Do I Ambergris this turn? I think we do. Because they might be tempted to block that. Which I think is fine for this turn. Because then next turn I have the 5 mana that I can do both of these. Like opponents just jam in 2 drops. Like opponents stuck on 2 mana. They did hit 4 2-drops. We hit 3 burn spells. So it kind of evens out, right? They're kind of stuck. But this is what the good thing about the deck, you keep punishing. There's very little slip up, very little opportunity for them to kind of come in. So that's a quick demo of the deck. If you are interested, like I said, this deck goes quick, it wins games fast, and you can kind of take it from there. But in any case, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great one. Like I said, if you don't like alchemy, I'm surprised you reached to this point of the video, but play the decks you enjoy, have fun, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.